Palestinian leader Yasir Arafat has agreed to work on a ceasefire deal with Israel. Good evening and welcome to NewsCenter 530. I'm Elliot McInnes.
And I'm Melissa Rossame. Arafat says he's ready to work for an immediate ceasefire with Israel without conditions. Arafat says this message to America's Mideast envoy Anthony Zini at a news conference on the West Bank. Some Israelis are downplaying Arafat's comments. A spokesman for Prime Minister Ariel Sharon told CNN that he won't see a glimmer of hope until Arafat starts to take action. During his news conference, Arafat alluded to reports that Israel is planning a huge military retaliation for yesterday's suicide bombing at a seaside resort. 20 people were killed. We'll have more on this story on NewsCenter at 9:30.
A U.S. Special Operations soldier is dead after an explosion in Afghanistan. The elite soldier was on a small unit training exercise when the blast occurred. Officials are uncertain about the cause of the explosion. A total of 31 U.S. troops have died in direct combat or accidents in or around Afghanistan since the U.S.-led war against terrorism. Another soldier was wounded by the blast, but the Pentagon said those injuries were not life-threatening. A Delta airplane was forced to make an emergency landing today. When the plane was taking off from Boston Logan's airport, a passenger on board reportedly said, "If you don't let me off this flight, lives will be lost." All 118 passengers were safely evacuated, and officials arrested the man who made the threat. The plane was then thoroughly checked.
Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty against the only person charged in the September 11th attacks. Zacarias Moussaoui is charged with conspiring with Osama bin Laden and others to commit the attacks in New York and Washington. 4 of the 6 counts against him carry the death penalty. His trial in Virginia is scheduled to start in September.
And peace in the Middle East may be a step closer. 22 nations unanimously adopted an Arab peace initiative. The Saudi Crown Prince Abdullah originated the plan, which will offer Israel security and normal relations with its Arab neighbors. Under the plan, the Israelis will have to withdraw from the Palestinian territories won by the Jewish states in the 6-day 1967 war. Also, the plan calls for the formation of a Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. One issue that delayed the agreement was what to do with the Palestinian refugees. The nations did decide to allow the Palestinian refugees to return to the captured lands or to receive compensation.
Government officials are negotiating with a drug company for access to 90 million recently discovered smallpox vaccine doses. A French drug company found the vaccines in its freezers. The Washington Post says the supply would be enough to protect the U.S. in the event of a bioterrorist attack.
Well, it was a pretty nice day today, but then we saw some drizzle.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of drizzling outside right now. We actually have a picture for our viewers to see. You can see it's a little hazy outside. That's because of the drizzle. You see the snow is still on the ground, but we are seeing patches of grass poke back through, so that's exciting. And I will be back later with more on the rest of your week.
All right, thank you very much, Katie. Well, listen to this. For a limited time only, you can catch a glimpse of a bright comet, perhaps the brightest since Hale-Bopp 5 years ago.
And Kellen tells us where to look for next month actually, to see the space snowball.
Comet Icaiah-Jeong is a bright comet worth checking out. Scientists think it last flew by Earth about 350 years ago.
At one time or another, through the month of April, people, most places on Earth where they have a dark sky, should see the comet. But it's a lot easier for us up in the northern hemisphere because it will be moving progressively north.
Now, to catch a glimpse of the comet, you want to go outside just as the sun is setting, and you want to face the setting sun. Now, just after the sun sets, you want to look low in the horizon. You'll see 2 twinkling stars and Mars. Mars is a reddish color, and you'll also see the comet. Now, if you're lucky enough and the sky is clear enough, you might catch a glimpse of the comet's tail. Steve Marin recommends for the best view, get away from city lights and use 7x50 binoculars.
They're good for sweeping around for the comet, and they give you a better view, actually, than a big telescope.
I think I see something.
Comet Icaiah-Jeong could be the brightest comet to come our way since Hale-Bopp 5 years ago. Marin recommends you do what many did then. Join a viewing party through amateur astronomy clubs, science museums, or planetariums. To learn more about these dirty snowballs, A NASA mission called Stardust is heading to a comet now to retrieve particles from its tail. Scientists think comets contain frozen remnants of our early solar system, and in the distant past may have hit the Earth, seeding our oceans with water. Around April 4th, comet Ikeya-Zhang moves to the morning sky, and for most of April can be seen just before dawn. Ann Kellen, CNN, Washington.
All right, thanks, Ann. One person is dead in a traffic to a standstill after an accident on a 101 freeway. In California's San Fernando Valley, California Highway Police say a car spun out of control and crashed into the center divider. It caused at least one other accident and traffic tied up for hours. Well, plans are on the way to rebuild certain avenues through Ball State. After the break, we'll let you know where to go to have your ideas heard.
Plus, we'll tell you about some bills vetoed by Governor O'Bannon today. It's all coming up after the break. Well, Muncie police officer Keith Peckham is on administrative leave after he was stopped for drunk driving on March 16th. In January, police were also called to an elementary school after Peckham allegedly became angry after he was asked why his children were late to school. And last year, he received a warning for reporting to work with purple hair. Next week, Deputy Police Chief James Peters will recommend what action should be taken against Peckham.
The city of Muncie is going to make improvements to streets on campus. The Riverside-McKinley intersection and the McKinley-Neely intersection will have additional turn lanes. The city says that traffic will be able to move through the intersections more efficiently. Also from this project, there will be new sidewalks, street lights, traffic signals, and storm sewers. If you are interested in discussing your opinions on the proposed project, there will be a public hearing on April 24th at 6:30 p.m. at the Muncie City Hall.
A new $1 million scholarship fund will help students study abroad. Former Ball State professor Phyllis Uhas is donating the money in honor of her mother. The scholarship fund will be split evenly to help Ball State students study abroad and help international students study at Ball State. Director for International Programs, Dr. James Coffey, says there are limits as to who can apply.
Any student at Ball State can apply. They need to have a 3.0 GPA. And also international students can apply, usually through departmental advocacy.
Students can apply for the scholarship by contacting the Center for International Programs at 285-5422.
Well, another increase in enrollment is expected for the university next year.
NewsCenter reporter Amy Wiekert finds out what this means for current Ball State students.
Ball State University Office of Admissions.
The Office of Admissions is receiving numerous calls these days as university enrollment is expected to rise next fall.
We think it'll be somewhere around 18,000 to 18,200 or so.
This increase is part of an ongoing trend that began in 1999 when the number of students reached 17,459. Admissions leaped to 17,490 during the 2000-2001 academic year and was followed by this year's jump to 17,662. Vice President of Student Affairs Douglas McConkey states several possibilities for the expansion.
We have done a lot of marketing and communication and advertising, I'm sure has helped at least a little bit. We know that raising the admission standards had an impact on particularly Indiana and surrounding states.
Prospective students are interested in Ball State for a variety of reasons.
I like the campus atmosphere. It seems like a fun campus to be on.
It seems to really have a personal contact with the students, and it's not too big, but it's not too small.
I've heard a lot about it, and just from what I've seen, I really liked it.
Some fear that the growing number of students could make class sizes unreasonable, but McConkey says the university is prepared.
I think we're going to be on top of that. We're already making decisions now to find the faculty to teach in the fall.
Incoming students must confirm their intent to enroll by May 1st, which will give the university a solid estimate by early this summer. I'm Amy Wiekert reporting for NewsCenter 43.
Thanks, Amy. Governor O'Bannon vetoed 7 bills today. One such bill would delay the closing of the State Development Center for Disableds in Jennings County. O'Bannon says he believed the state can downsize and close the center next summer. O'Bannon says that by vetoing the bill and the 6 others today, the state will have an easier time trying to compensate for the projected $1.3 billion budget deficit. But it wasn't all vetoing in the governor's office. O'Bannon signed a bill today that is designed to beef up Indiana's sex offender law.
Indiana will receive a federal grant to prepare for possible bioterrorism attacks. Senator Evan Bayh says the state will receive $2.6 million to prepare its hospitals for such attacks. The grant is part of a nationwide attack preparation effort. Bayh says Indiana's money will go directly to its hospitals, which are more knowledgeable about the strengths and weaknesses of the state's capabilities. The senator says states need to submit plans for handling bioterrorism before receiving the grant money.
All right, Katie Collins will have the weather next.
Right, outside again today, we did see some warmer temperatures, and of course the snow is melting. People are walking around campus with their jackets open. They don't have on, hats and gloves like we've seen for the last few days. So that's definitely a very nice change. I enjoyed that. Though right now people are having to carry around their umbrellas. And after we get done with the break, I will have the rest of your forecast for you for the rest of this week. Current temperatures outside, we are right around the normal temperature point for this time of year. South Bend seeing 42 degrees. Fort Wayne's the coldest point in the state. They see 39 degrees. It's probably because some of the winds that are coming off of the lake. Currently outside, we are seeing mostly cloudy skies, light drizzle. Temperature in Muncie is 43 degrees, and we see south winds at 8 miles per hour. Most of our precipitation will be moving out of the area. We're not really seeing that much right now. We have this cloud cover right now. It will be moving out of the area very shortly. And here's a closer look at what we are seeing. Most of it, again, will be out of the area. By tomorrow morning, we do have the potential for more clouds to be moving into the area, however. Most of our precipitation, again, this is actually showing a little bit more than we are actually ever going to see today. It's really light precipitation, not much rain, definitely not snow, thankfully. For tonight, we are going to be seeing lows in the 40s. Just to the north of us, we'll be seeing 30s. We will probably see around 37 degrees in all actuality. The only place that's going to be seeing significantly warmer weather is going to be in Texas and Louisiana. For tomorrow, our highs are going to be in the 50s. Just in the south of us, 60s. It'd be nice if they decided to creep up our way. 30s all the way up in Canada. We don't even have to worry about the cold weather for tomorrow. For tonight, we are going to see temperatures around 37 degrees. It's going to be cloudy. Wind's going to be west around 12 miles per hour. And tomorrow morning, temperature is going to be around 42 degrees when it's time for that commute to school or to work. Mostly cloudy. We might see the sun poke through in the morning. West wind at 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow afternoon, partly cloudy, high of 57 degrees. Wind's going to be west at 12 miles per hour. And for our 3-day forecast, Saturday we're going to be seeing temperatures around 46 degrees. For Sunday, it's going to be cloudy, but temperatures will be around 42. And then Monday is going to be starting with our nice, wonderful week of weather, 57 degrees. I mean, you can't beat that.
Looks like it's going to be a great weekend.
Yes, wonderful Easter weather.
Thanks, Katie. And Zach is going to join us now for sports. What do you think about Tom Coverdale? Is he going to be coming back in
Well,
action?
IU seems to be pretty worried about his ankle. And Stan Heath is heading south, and I'll have that and more in sports next. Let's break down Saturday's first national semifinal between Oklahoma and Indiana. This matchup will come down to whether Indiana can get good looks from beyond the three-point line. The Hoosiers shot a sensational 15 of 19 on the trifectas against Kent State and poor Stan Heath in the Elite Eight. This was the same Hoosier team that went 1 of 15 from behind the arc against the aggressive defense of Miami earlier this season. It will also be the same team that knocked down 17 trifectas to embarrass Illinois. Which Indiana team will show up in this national semifinal? You know Indiana needs the experience and leadership of guard Tom Coverdale.
That's our leader and just one of our fiercest competitors. I mean, If we lose anyone in our rotation right now, it's drastic. I mean, you don't replace people this time of year.
I'm just going to do anything I can to play in this game because this is the type of game you dream about playing in, and to be able to be in the Final Four, and if I had to sit there and watch and just sit on the bench and watch it, it'd be too painful. So, I'm doing everything I can to be able to play.
We fully expect Big Red to be ready to go. Not necessarily 100% by any means, but he's our main guy. I mean, he's been a key this whole season, and I think it'd make it a lot more difficult to beat Oklahoma without Tom.
If, and keyword is if, Cub doesn't play.
The Hoosiers and Tom Coverdale will have until Saturday to heal and get ready for Big 12 champion Sooners. Stan Heath has accepted the head coaching job position at the University of Arkansas. Heath resigned his job at Kent State this afternoon. Among a half-dozen coaches interviewed through Wednesday, Heath was getting the attention as the day ended. His Golden Flashes reached the Final 8 of the NCAA tournament. With permission from Kent State, Heath also visited West Virginia on Wednesday to talk about the vacant Mountaineers job. Heath was in Fayetteville Tuesday, and he is the only candidate given a personal tour of Walton Arena by Arkansas Athletic Director Frank Broyles. In addition, university officials held a reception for Heath and his wife. Tonight in the NIT championship game, the big story is whether or not this will be the last collegiate game for Memphis guard DeJuan Wagner. Yet South Carolina used its backcourt to beat Syracuse. Aaron Lucas scored 20 points and Jamal Bradley added 13 for the Gamecocks, who have never won a national postseason championship. 4 players tallied in double figures for the South Carolina, as Tony Kitchens had 13 points and Rolando Howe added 11 points and 11 rebounds. Kitchens made 2 free throws with 3:44 remaining that gave the Gamecocks the lead for good. Memphis leads the series between the former Metro Conference rivals 16-5. The Tigers have won 6 straight in the series, including an 80-58 rout and the last meeting on February 23rd, 1991. After 25 straight days without a home match, the number 10 ranked Ball State men's volleyball team returns to Worthern Arena this week for a pair of Midwest Intercollegiate Volleyball Association contests. The Cardinals battle Clark tonight before going head-to-head with Ohio State Saturday evening. Admission is free, so come cheer on the Cards. Ball State University's Luke Haggerty and Adam Metzler captured Mid-American Conference West Division Pitcher and Player of the Week accolades for their efforts in last weekend's 3-game sweep over Valparaiso. Haggerty captured his second MAC West Pitcher of the Week honor this season, while Metzler earned his first career MAC West Player of the Week honors. And that's all for sports.
So Zach, you think that IU has a decent chance at the Final Four?
I do if Coverdale comes back, but I think the ankle's still going to be a little weak, so I'm going to have to give the edge to the Sooners.
All right, Boomer Sooner.
There you go. All right.
Thanks. Well, coming up on NewsCenter at 5:30, can you imagine turning over 2 million miles on your car?
We'll introduce you to the man who did. Stay tuned.
Volvo posted nothing but zeros for the 20th time, which means Earth has become...
Well, do you enjoy watching a line of 0 show up on your odometer?
Just imagine for a moment seeing a 2 with 6 zeros. Well, CNN's Janine Moore shows us the 2 million mile man.
It's enough to give a regular car odometer envy. Arriving in Times Square, Irv Gordon's Volvo posted nothing but zeros for the 20th time, which means Irv has become... the 2 million mile man! The Long Island, New York resident bought his Volvo for about $4,000 in 1966, the same year The Sound of Music won Best Picture. The year Star Trek debuted on TV.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Just as Irv has gone boldly into the Guinness Book. So how do you put 2 million miles on one car? Irv calls it an accident.
I enjoyed driving it. I still enjoy driving it. So 36 years later, I'm still driving the same car. And it just, the miles just add up.
Especially when you're crazy about driving. This retired science teacher has toured 48 states in his Volvo, not to mention Canada, Mexico, and Europe.
It's like having a movie picture run in front of your eyes all the time, and it just keeps changing.
You could practically eat off Irv's engine. All these years, he's been servicing the car at the same Long Island dealership where he bought it.
He's a fanatic, yes.
The Volvo still has its original engine, though it has been rebuilt. You can't drive all those miles.
The first million was a little tense here and there.
Without having a few accidents. Once at a rest stop at night, a tractor-trailer backed up, hooked Irv's bumper, and took off down the interstate, not realizing the Volvo was in tow.
He was going down a road, and I'm banging away.
Eventually, a bump caused the bumpers to unhook.
I wound up a couple of feet from the edge of the road, right over the Delaware water gap, looking straight down.
As Irv approached the 2 million mark,
27 miles to go.
The Volvo folks started having his car towed around so he wouldn't go over the momentous milestone with no cameras to capture it. Irv does have a few rules about his car. No eating in it, no smoking.
And I certainly don't let anybody drive my car. Only me.
So hands off, valet parkers.
Most people today don't know what a choke is.
Folks at Volvo were so choked up over all the free publicity, they gave Irv a brand new Volvo. He even got to see his head roll across Times Square. The next time you glance at your measly, pathetic odometer reading, reflect on the man who truly deserves to blow his own horn.
On the road again.
Jeannie Moe, CNN, New York.
That's pretty amazing.
Well, I thought the last car I owned had a lot of miles on it, but
doesn't even compare.
no
and
way.
It's in good condition, too.
It looked like it, yes.
Oh dear, that's a lot of miles to put on a car.
Would you like to recap the weather for us, Katie?
Well, tonight we are going to be seeing clouds, temperature around 37 degrees. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be seeing mostly cloudy. The sun will pop through in the morning, temperature around 42 degrees. Tomorrow evening, high of 57 degrees, partly cloudy again. Winds are going to be about 12 miles per hour. And for Saturday, high of 46. Sunday, cloudy, but high of 42. And then Monday, we're going to see partly cloudy, high of 57 degrees. So it's looking pretty good right now.
Looks great. Well, thanks for joining us for News Center at 5:30. I'm Melissa Rossame.
And I'm Elliot McInnes. News Center 43 is an official CNN Student Bureau. Be sure to tune in tonight for News Center at 9:30.